So a very cheerful good evening to all the participants. I, Rajlakshmi Garg, Manager Admissions, extend heartiest welcome to all of you in this Avantika Interact session on Revolution in Tech Education Engineering at Avantika University. As you all know, Avantika University is India's first design-centered university promoted by MIT Group of Institutions, Pune, which has a proven legacy of 40 plus years in education. With design and engineering at its core, Avantika University has adopted a very unique teaching pedagogy, which is a project-based learning model, which encourages students to learn through experience and experiments. With the change in technology, it has brought a major impact on the way education is being carried forward. So our today's session will focus on the same lines. It will focus on how Avantika University is bringing a revolution in technical education. How Avantika is teaching different from any other university in India. What upper edge students at Avantika would have if they take up specializations like AI, data science, cybersecurity, cloud computing, electric vehicles, etc. In today's webinar, we will also focus on what kind of opportunities and scopes students have in near future and what kind of projects they will be working on in Avantika University. We are really blessed to have distinguished guests with us, the experts, faculty members who are there with us in today's panel discussion. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Ashish Bansal sir, who is a renowned academician with extensive experience of 28 years in research, academics, and entrepreneurship. He holds a master's degree in IT and a gold medalist, followed by PhD in IT. He's Microsoft certified and Oracle certified database administrator. His areas of specializations include artificial intelligence, neural network, and machine learning. His experience and a unique style of teaching is loved by all the students. Today, Sir will deep dive into areas of AI and data science. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of all the participants.
Thank you.
Our another distinguished expert is Kali Prasad Mahapatro, Assistant Professor, School of Engineering. Sir is a researcher and academician with interest in control system design. He did his master's and was recipient of GATE Fellowship. He has been associated with MIT Academy of Engineering, Alandi as Assistant Professor since 2014 and has been awarded the Best Teacher of the Department Award in 2015. He has also served for 2 years as Junior Research Fellow in DAE BRNS Government of India funded project. He's passionate about research and one of his research paper was awarded Best Paper Award in IEEE International Conference. His varied and rich experience brings new dimensions in educating students. Today, Sir will enlighten us on cyber physical system, electric vehicles, and cloud computing. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now we have with us Ravi Kumar Jadhav sir, Assistant Professor and Coordinator, School of Engineering. He holds a master's degree in VLSI and embedded systems. He has a varied experience in industry and academics. As a part of his master's program, he was instrumental in developing smart grid database management system using MATLAB. Today's session, the opening session would be by Ravi Kumar Jadhav sir. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Rajlakshmi.
Yes. Sir would be focusing on the revolution in tech education, why it is important in a country like India and how Avantika University is bringing that particular revolution. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rajlakshmi, for your brief introduction. And very warm welcome to all the aspirant engineering students and very good evening to all. Today, we have a topic to be discussed, which is the revolution in the tech education and the engineering at Avantika University. We will be revolving through the missions, the need why the revolution is being required in the education system at country like India, how we can approach, the way we can move ahead, and how engineering is a differentiating factor which plays Avantika in the today's crucial role where the extraordinary implications are required. So moving ahead, we'll first see how this revolution is required and why we are here. As the revolution in tech education is the requirement, and the research, the study says that the world is complex. And leaders in the policymaker, decision maker, the business and the academia need the knowledge that spans beyond the silos nature of our current higher education system. And there is a such requirement to get a drift from this current educational system. And the new age academic model at Avantika University will give the student the knowledge and the skill needed to address such social, economical, and global problems in the increasingly connected world. And why these complex problems need to be taken into address? Because take the simple example of the COVID, where the people are facing a much more complex, everything has been disturbed. And where is the urge that ever before? There is a requirement, there has to be the interconnection and the urge that ever before required. And for that, in order to meet such requirement, the modern workplace needs people who can tackle these kind of issues. And as we are seeing, the education which was in 1970s and the education which is in 2020s is similar throughout, and where this new revolution is required. The current university system cannot evolve quickly enough to get out from such situation. So we need a new solution, a new age universities. And for that, the solution, the education built for future, we need to build the education for future and to the old pedagogies, the pedagogies. So why do you mean we say extraordinary teaching is required? The workplace of tomorrow. Why? We mean that there is a need to have diverse and outstanding group of academicians, entrepreneurs, educationalists who come together and bridge the gap. We need that teaching methods need to be best proven pedagogies, so that the student can get acquainted to the new era, the new age. We don't know that when the world of work will look in a decade, but the graduates who will be passing out tomorrow after such critical situation, the skills and the insight to combine knowledge from different disciplines in new and relevant ways, and the era has arrived where multidisciplinary approach has to be taken into consideration. The bright minds, you take my word, the bright minds coming out of the universities ready to tackle problems that are more complex, and where with expert from industries creating truly transformable learning experience we need to adopt. And the workplace of tomorrow will look totally different and demand more of you than ever before. It is a time where it will be the workplace where you will be passing out after a few years will demand something more that has not been taken to you, that has been not taught to you, and you will need to balance, and where you need to balance the entrepreneur and resilience forefront of this movement. The movement has to be broken. University need to design the academic model that will give you knowledge and skills to enter the modern workplace. And this is your chance. This is your chance to take the lead, make your impact on the issues that matters you. So this is an education which required to be built for the future. And what are the initiatives? These are the initiatives which are taken by the Avantika University, which was conceived to be a distinct learning center, and the project-based education framework is developed by a team of passionate, proven professionals, educationalists, academicians, industrialists, entrepreneurs. And this unique academic model is based on integrated transdisciplinary approach that harmonically blends design and technology with liberal arts. It is a time, it has arrived that where the design and technology has to come with the liberal educations. The spirit of creativity and innovation complemented by design, thinking and intellectual boldness is the central theme at Avantika University. What we follow at Avantika University, and this is going to have a revolution in the tech education. Avantika is going to make a big impact in coming days. And why the need of revolution is there? Why there is a need of revolution? Because there is a mismatch between societal and educational grandeurs. Is a key factor that creates disconnect among the students and the industry, what they demand. Society is very dynamic. If you see the changes, what arrived in 90s, we were having the refrigerator in few houses. Now in 2020, we have refrigerator in every house. Same the television, the telephones, the mobile phones. Society is dynamic, but educational system is still static. And this leads to disconnect in the education system, where we people need to come up, where the educators are failing to equip the young peoples. They are failing basically to equip the young people with skills, and students lacking their shapes to form their lives, and where education system calling in India require a comprehensive reform. The information misalignment result in the people with skill. The student, when given a chance, when given the opportunities in industries, they are lacking in their skill sets. And for years now, the Indian education system is calling out for a comprehensive revaluation. And the need of our is to create minds that will deal with the present need and comfort the unforeseen challenges of the futures. And this is where the paradigm shift is required to be taken into consideration. This paradigm shift is very much important, which is going to stagnant in the current educational system in the nature of ours. And Avantika at its very outset envisioned creating the change by imparting the responsibility, social, economical to the society and problem solving skills. The university emphasizes the environment where students are empowered to deal with diversity changes and are equipped to apply the knowledge for the changes. Avantika University boosts a unique education model that integrates liberal education with design and engineering, where the freedom of thinking is non-negotiable in the university, where the students get the freedom of thinking, and which is going to really build the new age. The interdisciplinary approach. In the current approach, education, students learn a single discipline, and which is impacting the work, the new era where the student is going to work. The interdisciplinary approach starts with a real world problem, and it is the time where we need to adopt that model where interdisciplinary approach has to be there. There should be no disciplinary boundaries, and to learn a range of discipline across science, design, and technology, the time has arrived, and the revolution is required. So, at the rate Avantika, why Avantika, or how Avantika is taking the revolution in the tech education? These are the top 10 skills you people will be requiring by 2025. and this research was conducted by the World Education Economic Forum for the Future of Job reports. And these are the 10 skills which you people need to inculcate in yourself. The complex problem solving. You should be able to solve all the complex problems. You should be able to think critically. You should be able to get the solution for a problem in multiple ways. Creativity, the people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. And where this new age university will play a very important role, where the old universities are not adaptable to these skill sets. Moving ahead, the way ahead, the future of learning, the experiential learning, project-based learning, problem-based learning, activity-based learning, blended learning, this scenario-based learning, these are the ways in which we have to come up for our new education approach. The experiential learning is a process through which students develop knowledge, skills, values from direct experience outside the traditional academic setting. And that's where this experiential learning will play a major role. They act, they apply, reflect, and conceptualize the thing. Project-based learning, it's easy to say the project-based learning, it is very difficult to imply, but there has to be the strategy in which they can be inculcated. Project-based learning allows students to gain knowledge and skills by working for an intended period to investigate the complete project, they investigate the problem, respond to engage complex questions, problem and challenges. Problem based, where you need to connect to the real world problem, we need to solve that problem. Activity based learning is a subset of experiential learning, but which facilitates the students to open their mind. Blended learning, which is our traditional conventional way. Scenario based learning, providing the case studies, providing the scenarios from which the students can create their own ideas. And this is the way the future of learning, and where an education framework has to be changed. The educational framework that offset the stagnation in current educational system. And these are the things that has to be taken, no disciplinary boundaries. Synchronous with the need of students, society, and industry at the large. Interdisciplinary curriculum and experiential learning. Course that connects science, engineering, design, and liberal arts. Students, choice and voice. The student should get his own choice. Multidisciplinary learning and societal impact and breadth of the student experience. And why and how engineering at Avantika University. And the concept, the model completely revolves around DICE: design, innovation, creativity, and enterprise. And this is going to play a very major role. The academic program at Avantika University is led by this DICE, where design, innovation, creativity, and enterprise with interdisciplinary curriculum and experiential learning are at its core. The students at Avantika are offered interesting courses that connects areas of science, engineering, design, liberal arts. Design-centered learning, the main focus, the design-centered learning at Avantika start engaging learners to confront the challenges. The Avantika model emphasizes students' choice and voice, multidisciplinary approach, and the design project are embedded into the program to provide a solid platform for the students to beat the world. The Avantika curriculum is based on the premises that education at Avantika starts with observation, evolves with comprehension, and ends with innovation. The students who pass out from the Avantika, the final year students, have come up with the great innovation. They have their patents, they have their design registration, where we say that our curriculum is now evolving. And that's where the disruption in the education system that Avantika wants to initiate. The various initiatives are taken by Avantika to disrupt the educational system in India, and that can happen only and only through the curriculum. the pedagogy, the holistic development of the individuals, getting the industry internships, students going to for internship industry, getting the culture, design projects, which they have the experience of the live projects. And we say the curriculum framework at Avantika University, we say that 35% of the time our students spends at projects. The liberal arts, design core, engineering core, 1/3 of the time our students spend in these things. 1/3 of the time our students spend their time in the discipline core, specializations and elective. And if you see the complete division of this, our curriculum framework, the credit distribution, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and which says that the project, how project-based learning or how project-based education can be successful unless and until we are not devoting the certain percentage of the students' time. So 1/3 of the time, 2 years is continued 4 years of journey the student will be spending on the design projects. What are the outcomes? Why the generic concept? Now we'll see how engineering at Avantika or computer science engineering. These are the few conventional courses, the generic concept student learns: physics, electronics, coding, database, architecture, graphics, structure in the conventional mode. But these are the missing links: history, science, mathematics, nature, environment, thinking, visualization, artificial, IoT, electric vehicle, UI, UX, cyber security. These are the few things which the conventional systems are missing. And the time has arrived where these missing links need to be mapped. These missing links need to be taken into consideration. And that is where there is a deciding factor. You should have the spirit of innovation, where design and creativity, transdisciplinary education, curriculum in design with the industry 4.0, the pedagogy, the project-based learning, problem solving, scenario-based learning, activity-based learning, faculty, the experience, expertise, research faculty, rich faculty, masterclass with the domain experts, online learning and global certifications. And where this Avantika is a differentiating factor for you people: industry connect, internship, live projects. Every week you people will be meeting the industry connect people, industry people. Life skill, critical and creative problem solving. These are the few things which need to be taken into consideration. You should be dynamic student life.
Great, sir, great. This is really an revolution in technical education that Avantika University is bringing. Yes, sir. So it was really an interesting and amazing experience, the journey that you have shown to us, starting from why there is a need in technical revolution in technical education, because the society is dynamic, but the education has become quite static. So there is a need for dynamism in education also. Moreover, the transdisciplinary approach, the experiential learning, the project-based learning, blended learning, the scenario-based learning, storytelling, all these things make a very important part of Avantika University. And also that you have mentioned, we have designing blended with liberal arts, which is not found in any other university. Our focus is not only making students technically sound, but also making them emotionally sound, the values, the ethics, making them strong in them also. Moreover, you have also mentioned at the end that we follow the DICE pedagogy with the design, innovation, and everything in place. So it was a really interesting part of yours to tell us why there is a need in revolution and how Avantika University is taking care of that. We will again come to you, sir, to understand how students will benefit from this kind of education and what kind of upper edge students will have if they study design thinking, if they study in project-based learning model, and how it will help them in future. So thank you for this part.
Yes.
Next, I would like to invite Professor Ashish Bansal, sir, to take us to a journey of artificial intelligence and data science. I am sure most of the students are willing to take up AI and data science as their specialization, but they are still not aware what exactly it is all about, what job roles they would be taking up, what kind of projects they will be working on, what exactly goes in AI and data science. So we
I'm
would
sharing my
like to hear.
screen. I'm sharing
Yes,
my
sir.
screen.
Sure, sir. We would like to hear from you, sir, about
Yeah.
AI and data science.
Right. Is the screen visible to everybody?
Yes, sir, it is.
So very good afternoon, everybody, and very nice speech by Ravi sir. Thanks for the enlightenment of the various kinds of pedagogy and the various kinds of new kind of student learning technologies that we adopt in Avantika. So today the task which has been allocated to me as a professor in computer science here, as well as having specialization of AI, the task which is allocated to me is to make you well aware with the kind of the glimpses of whatever things that we are going to teach you in AI and data science. So all of you might have heard about data science and artificial intelligence a lot through various kinds of newspapers, through various kinds of channels, right? So through various kinds of university advertisements also you might have heard about artificial intelligence, data science, lot of job opportunities and that kind of thing, right? So first of all, let's basically understand what exactly data science is and what exactly is artificial intelligence, and are they same or they are different? Can we connect them together? And what is the advantage of learning both of them together as a single branch of science, single branch of technology, right? So this is the basic thing that I'm going to cover. By the way, what kind of language you would like to speak me into? Is it English or Hindi or is a cocktail sort of thing? So that we can have a proper conversation also time and again whenever it is required.
For
So I will,
students,
yeah,
yeah, students are comfortable in both Hindi and
yeah,
English.
yeah.
If you
Fantastic,
can please,
fantastic.
yes.
So I will follow the cocktail in that case. So actually, first of all, let's come to data science. I'm not able to share my screen. Just a minute. Right. So first of all, let's understand the definition of a data science. What exactly is a data science is? So many definitions are given in the world for data science. As you, some people say that if you are given a particular data and you want to discover that particular data in order to get something new, that is a data science. Some people say कि बहुत सारा डेटा हमारे पास है, very enormous amount of data, उसमें से कोई useful information हमको निकालनी है, that is actually data science. And some people say that it is a science that combines statistics also, mathematics also, programming also, lot of different kind of visualization also. इन सबको अगर हम मिला दें, that becomes a data science. So out of so many different kind of definitions, actually all of these definitions are meaningful and they are connected with each other. So when it comes to data science, it's a combination of all of this actually, right? So when it comes to building a career in data science also, in that case, it comes to understanding of all these kind of technologies together in order to make yourself a proper data analyst or data science person, okay? Because there is a tremendous demand in the world today for data science professionals. It is said that around 550 million employments will be available by next 5 years across the globe. So that raises for alarming kind of opportunities available for you guys for working on data science area. So there is one more topic which is connected with data science, as I said you earlier, that is actually artificial intelligence. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence means the intelligence that we have as humans. If the same kind of intelligence being given to the machines, it becomes an artificial intelligence, right? For example, suppose I am meeting one of my very old friends, he's like 40 years old or something like that. And immediately, as soon as I see him, I am able to recognize that particular person. But it is not possible for any kind of the machine in the world to be that fast to recognize any kind of thing so fast. So what is that in human brains which is differing from the kind of thinking that the machines are making, right? If similar kind of intelligence in some way is incorporated with the machines also, maybe the machines will also be able to think logically and think apparently in a better way. They will be able to understand videos, images, right? They will be able to interpolate the information. A lot of things they will be able to do, which we currently are better at doing, right? So all those kind of technologies, they come under the purview of artificial intelligence. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, we say it contains machine learning also, it contains deep learning also. So many buzzwords you might have heard about it. So when it comes to data science, it's a combination of data science, a machine learning, a deep learning, all these things connected together. So if you want to call yourself a data science professional, you cannot say you are away from machine learning or deep learning sort of thing. It is there. Part of your artificial intelligence is always there along with you. So this is a relationship which is always there in machine learning data science. They go hand in hand together. If there is a data science, machine learning specialists need to be there. If there is a machine learning specialist, data science professional has to be there. So the data science professional will provide the data, interpolate the data, and present it before the machine learning specialist so that the machine learning specialist will be able to do something on that data. Now, what is that something? That something is the machine learning specialist will be able to interpolate the data. He will be able to make decisions of that particular data. He will be able to perform some sort of predictions from that particular data. So many different kind of operations that he can do with the data. So many kind of statistical analysis he will be able to perform with that particular data. So all those things are possible when it comes to a combination between machine learning and data science. So that is why we have kept machine learning and data science together as a specialization of data science being given as a part of the specialization from our graduation program in artificial intelligence along with the BTech program, right? So that is one of the challenging opportunities that we have. Now, what are the basic skills if you want to see yourself as a data scientist? I hope many of the students who are approaching here or who want to see this particular program might be wondering about what should I have to become a data scientist, whether I'm able to pursue this particular designation or not. Do I have that kind of thing within myself so that I could be called a data scientist in future, something like that. So you should be able to having a logical brain. Actually, you should be able to see the things properly, diagnose the things properly. You should be able to write or ask the correct questions which are required towards a particular data set. You want to understand the structure of the data set in a proper way. You have to interpret the data set. You have to clean the data set so that you can present it before the machine learning specialist, right? Then you should also be aware of the various kinds of statistics and mathematical technologies, mathematical methods that you would be employing on your data sets in order to derive some information out of it. Then you should be able to visualize the data also. It is not only that you have interpreted the information, but the interpreted information must be presented in a particular format that is meaningful to the end users, to the stakeholders. The stakeholder can be an ordinary user also. It can be a CEO of a company also. So whatever kind of the user is there, you should be able to perform the data interpolation as well as visualization of that particular data in the perfect order, which is meaningful for that stakeholder, so that he will be able to work according to that particular data set information.
Sir, I would like to interrupt you a bit. Can you please run the slideshow so that we can see the PPTs?
Actually, there is some problem in running. It's not running. Sorry.
Okay, no issues.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah.
So is it visible, right? Slide part of it?
Yes, sir, it is.
I will speak
no
out.
issues.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so when it comes to data information, there is a lot of different sources of data. Why big data is so important? Data is so important. So when I talk about data, it is actually big data nowadays, right? Because the data is coming from so many different channels. What are those channels? Data is coming from, there are so many sensory informations which are there. Then there are a lot of social media. Twitter is there, Facebook is there, right? WhatsApp is there. There are a lot of social channels which are producing data every day. A lot of texts coming to you. There is a lot of location determination information. Location services are there. Then a lot of data is coming from server side to you. A lot of audios, videos, images. So enormous amount of data is being generated every second, every microsecond actually. So the volume is so much that it comes to a terabyte also, right? More than that, even per second. So to visualize and to interpret such kind of information is not a joke. If you want to make sense of such kind of information, we should make sense of the ways in which you should be able to interpret this kind of information. So just to find out the ways, the ways in which you can interpret this kind of data, you need to be meaningful to access this kind of data, you will need to manipulate this kind of data. You need to be a big data engineer. You need to be a data science specialist. You need to be a machine learning specialist. You need to be a deep learning specialist. So if you want to deal with images and videos, you need to be a deep learning specialist. Nowadays, there are challenging kind of technologies that are coming nowadays. One of them is what is known as GANs. I think most of you might have heard about GANs, generative adversarial networks, they call it. Seems to be a big word. Guys, you can create any kind of damn images, any kind of damn videos, any kind of damn pictures. You can create a picture of Picasso with your own hands using this technology. So a lot of generative networks are also evolved nowadays, along with the predictive networks, through which you can generate practically damn anything in the world. So that sounds very revolutionary now. So all those things are possible with the help of this. So if that kind of data set is available and you are able to work in that kind of data set, right? In that case, there must be different kind of sectors also which are using data science. So if you want to specialize in one of the sectors, the opportunities are available. However, if you want to have opportunities in other sectors also, all sectors have lots and lots of information, lots and lots of scopes which are available for the students. Like social network platforms, there is social engineering, there is a social analytics, which is made just for social network platforms. Then there are search engines which are using your data science. Healthcare industries are using data science. Finance, public sector, digital services, products, information-driven application. You name a technology, data science is there. There is not even a single technology where there is no intervention of data science nowadays. Almost everywhere there is data science. Almost everywhere there is machine learning. Almost everywhere there is, deep learning kind of things. Very, very challenging. So suppose you are going to a social networking platform. In that, suppose you are going to Twitter. Then you can point specifically the information. What is your profile? What is your group? What is your location? And accordingly, a particular kind of information will be shown to you, right? So that kind of thing is there when it comes to Twitter and other platforms. Suppose you are going to search engines. You type a particular word, the complete recommendation of that particular word is given to you. I'm just typing in data here. It will give you data science, data scientist. You might have seen on Google, right? Data science, salary, data structure. बहुत सारी type की information आपके सामने आ जाएगी. Why it is so? Because it is able to understand. It is able to understand the kind of repercussion people make. It is able to understand what kind of speculation people make on Google search engines. Accordingly, it has started finding out the ways in which it has to present the information before you. All right. So all these things are available. If it comes to healthcare, very nice applications are built. You might have seen this wearable device. This is a watch sort of a thing. All right. When you wear it, it takes all sorts of biometric sensor data information from your body. Suppose your heartbeat is there, it will measure your heartbeat also. Now this heartbeat will be sent to a particular IoT gateway. This IoT gateway will send it to a certain server in the world across the globe, maybe in Chicago or somewhere else, sitting into Jen. It will go to certain data analyst. The data analyst will make sense of that information and give to the dashboard, and from there it will be supplied back to you. So you can see the kind of information channel, kind of see the information traveling at enormous speed, global speed, lightning speed across the globe, and the information after manipulation coming back to you, so that you can make sense of it. You can take certain informed decisions. So such kind of things are possible when it comes to healthcare industry. Similarly, other industries like you have finance also. Suppose a person is applying for a loan. He is applied for the loan. He is going to a portal. He has put up an application there, and that data is traveling to a certain server. From there, it is going to analytics. So this data analytics is the place where actually you will be working as a data science specialist, as a machine learning specialist, or as any other kind of a specialist who will be making sense of data. So this is that particular circle in which you are lying, or you will probably want to lie, your prospective area of working. From there, it will be supplied to the engagement dashboard, and from there it will be supplied back to you, back to the person who will be making a decision whether the person who is applying for a loan should be eligible to be provided a loan or not. So this kind of information, when it comes to in a volume, it becomes almost impossible for a particular machine or a system to do this task. because millions of decisions to be taken per second by all the banks across the globe. It is not possible to do that. Okay. So in that way, it is very important for you to learn the technologies which are available in data science and machine learning, so that you can also process billions and millions of information per second, per microsecond, and produce a result thereby, which otherwise would have been possible, but in much lesser volume comparatively. Right. So from that perspective also, knowledge of data science, machine learning is very, very important. So guys, what are those things that you are going to learn then as a data science specialist? So it is a sandwich. It contains so many different things. Like you have to learn machine learning also, you have to learn graphic computing also, you have to learn matplotlib also for the visualization purposes, SciPy also, NumPy also, pandas also. So many different areas are available in which you will have to spread your information bucket. Unless and until you are through with all this kind of information, it will be difficult for you to go through machine learning and data science. But guys, it is not difficult, I tell you. Once you generate interest into learning this kind of technologies, then once you enter into it, the sky is the world, right? Once you enter into it, you will continuously generate interest into it. आपका interest इसमें बढ़ता चला जाएगा, and one day you will find out that you will not be able to live without this kind of thing. It will become a part of your habit. आप रेगुलरली उन साइट्स पर जाओगे, स्क्रैबल करोगे जहां पर की सारी चीजें हो रही हैं, जहां पर ये सारे मॉडल्स बन रहे हैं. So when I entered into this particular line, I was not a professional from AI and all that, but when I entered into this line, guys, I tell you that kind of met all sorts of differences in me. So all sorts of new kind of information I was involved into getting every day, something new, and unless and until I can scrabble something, I can find out some information, I can predict something. So that thing has become a part of my habit now. Same the case will happen with you also, provided you take interest. Now, there are so many different machine learning applications also, like sentiment analysis there. Suppose there is a political, some political passages there, or some political messages there, and you want to find out whether a particular message is going pro to the party or against the party. Or there is some movie which is coming and you want to find out this movie बहुत अच्छी है कि खराब है कि कैसी है, right? So that is a sentiment analysis. Suppose आपके पास कोई email आ रहा है and you want to find out whether it's a spam or it's a good email, whether I should open that particular email or not. Because sometimes, guys, if you open an email, it can be a source of infection. It can be a source of so many viruses into your systems. So you need to be very, very careful and cautious about what to open and what not to. So this spam filtering mechanism is employed just to take care of that. So that is all possible out of trillions of data because of this mechanism which we are following. So you all learn how to do the spam filtering also, sentiment analysis, or information extraction also, right? In that case, now some more practices are allowed now. Some more practices are coming nowadays in artificial intelligence. One of them is known as self-driving cars. I hope you might have heard about it. Self-driving car means you do not have any kind of driver inside it. You are just a passenger sitting inside it. It will take you from the starting destination to the ending destination. It will automatically acknowledge all sorts of midway informations. What are those traffic which are coming in the way? कौन-कौन से vehicles चल रहे हैं, कौन से नहीं चल रहे हैं? How much is the traffic? It will know everything. How? It will come to know about all of these kind of things because of knowledge about the information dissemination. It will be able to understand the information. Images ko, videos ko, it will be able to identify, it will be able to locate, it will be able to detect the information. Detection is different than recognition, Recognition means you identified there is a car coming in front of you. Detection means where is that particular car located. So all that kind of information is done automatically by self-driving cars. And it will take you with lightning speed to any kind of place wherever you want to. Chess playing, that's an older application now. But still better and better chess players are coming. Then some sort of humanoid robots and all that, that's also part of it.
Great. So this is really an interesting applications that you are saying about data science and artificial intelligence. Exactly. This sounds really interesting, like something that we used to see in sci-fi movies of Hollywood. Right. So that has come to reality now. Sir, sorry to interrupt you, but we would also like to know from you that what kind of projects student at Avantika University would be doing if they have this AI and data science as their specialization.
Basically, all sorts of data science interpolation projects, whether you want to, extract the data, you want to arrange the data in meaningful orders, you want to get any kind of visualization of that particular data set, right? Apart from that, if you want to have a trained analysis kind of thing, right? If you want to find out what kind of forecasting you want to do, whether a particular hotel will, suppose there is a person who has cancelled the reservation, right?
Okay.
So how many people are there who will be cancelling the reservation further? कौन से लोगों को लोन दिया जाएगा, किन लोगों को नहीं दिया जाएगा? All those kind of information which are there. Images को identify करना, videos को identify करना, detect करना उनको. All those kind of things are there at the part of the project.
So overall, we can say that whatever they would be doing in industry, they would be taught over here during their 4-year curriculum.
In fact, industries, they will be using a particular segment only, but we will be telling much more as compared to what is taught in the industries.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have, in fact, when we were designing our syllabus, we have not only captured the syllabus from Indian universities, but we have taken world-class universities like Stanford and other places also, when we derived at the formation of, when we formed the syllabus for this particular core curriculum.
Wonderful. That's
So
amazing.
once you complete this course from here, then I tell you the sky is the limit. Anywhere you can go. Yeah. So irrespective of the place, wherever you go, whether in India or in abroad, the opportunities will be calling there also. Okay. So that kind of curriculum is there. You rest assured about that. Right?
Wonderful. Sir. Wonderful.
Some health and machine learning applications are also there. And these are some of the challenges, the data set should be conforming to certain standards, right? Because it's a complex task. So all these things are done by, data science specialists and all that. The future is here actually. Virtual assistant ko use karna, intelligent cars, AI, gaming. Sophia, you might heard about.
Yes.
She's a lady who came to IIT Powai, guys. IIT Powai में आके वो कार से अपनी साड़ी में उतरी, and then she did the press conference also. Press conference में one of the person asked her the question that somebody told that you will kill all the humans one day. Then she reciprocate, humans have not designed me in this particular way that I will be killing all of them. Rest depends on you. That kind of clever reply she gave. Yeah. So things like that are happening because they are using deep learning technologies, and you will also be part of learning all those kind of technologies here. For
great,
sure.
Sir, great.
Yeah.
As far as Sophia is concerned, what I have read about her is that she could read your facial expressions and then respond in that particular way. She can crack jokes. And also she is the first robot to have a citizenship of a country.
She was the first person who was given the citizenship.
Yes.
And following that, there are many more humanoids being formed every day. One of them is known as Emo also. If you see it, आपको थोड़ा Google पे इसका ad दिखना Emo का.
Yes.
So Emo is a sort of a pet sitting with you. All the time it will keep talking to you. वो बुरा भी मानेगा. अगर आपने कुछ उसको खराब बोल दिया तो वो will mind it also. And then you have to फिर आप उसको आपको प्यार करना पड़ेगा. Then it will become all right and all that. So that kind of thing is available on this. So emotions and feelings are generated now. It's not like that they're not.
So generated. It's like the machines are becoming intelligent, although artificially.
But at the same time, it is a risk also. But
yeah.
So that care has to be taken. I mean, someday they might roll over the entire humanity.
Sure, sir.
All the jobs taken over by them only, and you are nowhere. That is a possibility. Anyway, so these are the different employment prospects, guys. If you want to become a data scientist, or you must be, you must be wanting this kind of slides from me, because you must be wanting to be aware of this kind of fact that if you want to learn machine learning, data science kind of thing from here. So in that case, what kind of addition in your prospects will be happening after doing this particular course, right? So one of them is data scientist, right? So exploring the data, all those kind of things here. Machine learning engineer, machine learning scientist, application architect, several application producing data, how they are correlating. Enterprise architect is there. All right. So organizational strategy is studied here. If you want to become an enterprise architect, then organizational perspective is taken into account. Data architect is there. Infrastructure architect for optimizing the information. What kind of data should be there? As a data engineer, the real-time data will be chosen here. Then as a business intelligence developer, you will be interested in finding out patterns from the existing data sets, right? Statistician, data analyst, right? There are lots and lots of careers which are available. All right.
Yes, and definitely students would like to know more about it, about AI and data science. So they can anytime connect with us and get to know a bit more about what exactly goes into AI, what exactly goes into data science, how they
Yeah,
can
exactly.
prepare themselves.
Because
What?
this line is like that actually, that
Yes,
everybody likes to
yes,
know about this.
yes.
And there are
Thank you,
around 50
sir.
million
Yeah.
jobs that is going to be created in the
Yes, I
span of
have
just
just
2-3
written
years.
that. I just wanted to confirm that. Did you say 50 million or 50 billion job opportunities?
I told 50 million in a span
Yeah.
of 2 years,
Yeah.
as per
So,
the recorded data.
so I think everyone should take up AI data science. Then there are so many job opportunities, and with wonderful faculties and the kind of teaching pedagogy Avantika University is giving, I'm sure within 2 or 3 years, our students would be very good in AI and data science.
And
So,
one more important thing is there. If you seek a career in machine, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yes, sir.
If
Please.
there is, if you learn AI and machine learning kind of things, then the kind of job prospects that you get are way higher as compared to traditional jobs, really. Because this is a leading edge, right? So
Right.
whatever kind of packages and whatever kind of remuneration that you might be seeking after doing this technology will be way more as compared to the traditional ones. So that is the biggest benefit of this particular thing. Plus, there is a global exposure also. You can grow across the globe, anywhere across the globe, and everywhere
Sure.
you will be the wanted figure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for
Thank
such
you.
an insightful session. This was really informative. There were certain things that we were not aware of, and
Thank you
you
so much.
have explained it in a very simple way. So it was really insightful. Dear students, if you have any other query like about AI, data science, or if you want to know something, we would have an open house right after this session. We have one session of Kali Prasad sir. Right after that, you can ask your doubts, question and answers, and there will be an open house. So I would like to now invite Kali Prasad sir to give us a brief on cyber physical system and tell us how the cyber physical system blends electric vehicles, cloud computing. Also, it would be including IoT, and how Avantika University has embedded these specializations in engineering. So, over to you, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Rajlakshmi. It was a wonderful session by Ravi sir and Ashish sir. Most of the things they have covered. Okay, the point of discussion here is about the cyber physical system, which you might have heard or you might not have heard. If you have heard, then it's well and good. If you have not heard, then afterwards you can Google it and you can go for it. But I will tell you one thing before starting with the cyber physical system. In today's world, the employment is there, or if you want to move out in India or globally outside the market, okay, the thing is that you should have a skill. The skill plays a very, very important role. And to be more focused, I will say not skill, but I will say rather it's a multidisciplinary skill. Okay, so multidisciplinary skill approach is very, very important as far as today's individual is concerned. Okay, because the trend has gone, which was there in the early 90s and 20s, that you do mechanical engineer, you will get it. You do electrical engineer, you get into that field. Okay, so today's world is requiring a multidisciplinary skill approach. So based on that approach, we at Avantika University started out a new center here that is called as a Center for Cyber Physical System. Okay, now what is that actually? I will just brief you. I will just present only one slide. In my presentation, there is only one picture for you guys, nothing more than that. Okay, so in the cyber physical system is nothing but it's a network of interconnections and collaboration of smart devices. Okay, processing, computation, communication that interact and efficiently control the physical entities. This is what the definition of cyber physical system is. Now, why this is booming out anyhow in this global market? Okay, there is a reason for that. The reason says that, suppose I will take an example of an electric vehicle. Okay, let us take an example of an electric vehicle. It's just an example. It can be applicable to n number of applications are there. Okay, now everybody knows. Okay, the king of electric vehicle currently is been ruled by Tesla. Okay, they have started making the electric vehicles. Not only that, but on the top they are start making as an autonomous electric vehicle. As far as autonomous vehicles are concerned, Ashish sir has briefly highlighted how this automation, how this car will go automatically from one location from point A to point B, which involves complex calculations and all those things. Now let us take an example of an electric vehicle. Okay, I will just stop sharing this part. Okay. Let us take an example of an electric vehicle. If you see this electric vehicle will deal with what? A mechanical engine. Obviously, the car designings and everything is to be done. It will also deal with an electronics engineer as far as the circuitries are concerned. Am I correct? And also it will deal with the software part. Obviously, you have to run that vehicle. Moreover, you have to run that vehicle automatically. Okay. It also involves a user experience. User experience, I mean to say, आपका जो dashboard होता है, the way you interact with your dashboard. Okay, how you interact it, how seamlessly you interact with the dashboard. That is what a user experience. I hope Ravi sir has shared one in one point whether user experience. Okay, so that plays a very important role. So just try to imagine that what are the types of skills that you need. After that, you require a power distribution. A proper power distribution has to be there. Okay, if you see this part, okay, it's not a simple job. If you see there's a battery and there's an electric motor, there are lights, n number of communications are there. Okay, so you need a power distribution engineer also there. Afterwards, you have to make this car automatically to be run on the road. Okay, so the data has to be transmitted. Just imagine, for a sake of simplicity, I will tell you, just imagine there are 20 cars on the road. You are having a 20 cars on the road and they are moving each other. So obviously you should have that communication between each car. कौन सी कार कहाँ पे किस जगह पे, otherwise there will be a chances of accidents and all those things. The data has to be transferred. The data has to be governed by somebody else so that the things can be controlled. So वो data जाएगा कैसे? There where Ashish sir has highlighted about data science. Okay, so all those data will be stored on somewhere at some server locations. And वहाँ से वो monitor होगा, वहाँ से वो process होगा, and afterward the data will come. Okay, and then the automation will start. So this is how the normal, if you see a simple automatic electric vehicle is concerned, that involves n number of disciplines. So to sustain in today's world, you should be well aware of all those multidisciplinary skills, and you should practice those multidisciplinary skills. So there where Avantika, we have set up the Center of Cyber Physical System, where you can connect all the physical and cyber. Cyber means it's about this what cloud, cyber security. Security plays a very important role nowadays, if you see, because there is a huge number of data. Okay, just imagine 20 cars only. I've said 20 cars are running on the road, and if somebody hacks somebody cars and all, instead of going towards from A to point B, they might go from point A to point C, which might be again more dangerous. Okay, so that also involves complex calculations, complex mathematics, and complex algorithms, all those things. But the point I need to tell you is that this multidisciplinary. Okay, multidisciplinary means you should not be only say that I am a computer science. Okay, no. In Avantika University, we are offering the degree called as computer science and engineering. So that and engineering plays a very important, not only the computer science. So it's a computer science and engineering. Okay, so you, apart from the computer science, you will also learn all those multidisciplinary skills. You will learn some certain fundamentals of electronics, certain fundamentals of mechanicals, certain fundamentals of design, certain fundamentals of user experience, and all this blend will give you a multidisciplinary candidate after the end of the 4 years, which will make you globally movable anywhere. Okay, so as Ashish sir has rightly mentioned, the sky is not the limit. Okay, you can go beyond that. Okay, so now my next question to you guys will be whether the conventional mode of engineering, which was there, that is, you have to just learn the courses, write the exams of 100 marks and get the passing grades and move ahead. Will it work? I think obviously it won't work. And I hope everybody might be agreeing upon that. We can have this in the question answer sessions. Okay, but I expect that mostly you might be under the same opinion that only conventional way of engineering, that writing the paper and getting good marks and all those things won't work. Then what is the next technique for that? Okay, so the next technique, so to achieve all those kind of a skill, okay, you require a different kind of teaching learning approach. That is what Ravi sir has highlighted. And out of that, I would like to focus on one of this, as a time is the limit. Okay, on one of the part that is called as a project-based learning. Now, in Avantika University, what are the types of projects that we are going to do? Okay, for that, I will just give you one example, a live example. Okay, just allow me to stop my background. My background is not getting stopped. Okay, fine. We had made one drone actually. I'm sure whether you can't see or you can see it with bit blur. Okay, we had made one drone here. Okay, now in this, okay, the thing is that at the start only we give you the problem statement that you have to make this project. Okay, you have to make this project, and based upon that project, we will be giving you certain inputs about the mathematics. What are the mathematical calculations? What are the designs that you have to do? How you have to make it? Okay, what are the mechanical parts that you have to do? Okay, all these things we are going to give inputs, and you are going to do it. So if I say that, for example, if today is the session, we will be having a input of about 2 to 2.5 hours, and after that you are going to work for the complete day, and at the end you are going to show us. Okay, so this is what is called as a project-based learning approach. We will give you the project statement at the start of the session only. Okay, and afterwards, based upon that project, we are going to give you certain inputs, because that will lead to a practical approach. Rather than a theoretical approach, you will be moving towards a practical approach. You will be seeing that, okay, sir ne bataya ki integration aisa solve hota hai. And I'm telling you, in a drone, okay, there is an application of integration and derivative. Okay, which all the people might have studied in some of the classes of integrations and derivatives, trigonometric. But वो वहां पे आपने खाली सॉल्व किया था. You given a problem and you have just solved that part. That is not a complex problem solving. The World Economic Forum, which Ravi sir has highlighted to you, in that there is one of the skill that is called as a complex problem solving approach. It means that you should know that where to use the integration and how to use the integration in the real world. That is the biggest challenging, which is the missing gap actually in the conventional mode of engineering, and which we are trying to bridge out here at Avantika University. So while making drone, then he will understand, अरे हाँ यहाँ पे integration लगा है, अरे वो force is equal to mass into acceleration पढ़ा था 12th standard में, अरे अभी अगर नहीं लगाऊंगा तो ये नहीं take off करेगा. Not only that, he learns programming also. He learns electronics also. So now and it's a first year project, I'm telling you, it's a first year project. We are proud to say that it's a first year project the student has developed. Okay, so it is just what are the skills he has done? Mathematics he has done, means the analytical skills. Afterwards he has done the mechanical part. Okay, it's a mechanical part also he has done, and afterwards he has done the programming part. Okay, and he has done the electronics also. It is a 6 weeks course actually. Okay, so we were giving the input, and whatever we are giving the input, the students were applying it practically and saying it. And this is what at the end the world wants. You should be a skilled employable. Okay. So in this, if you are going for the electric vehicle also, there is a, suppose I will tell you one topic, electric vehicle is a very vast topic. If you want to control the motor of an electric vehicle, okay, so that involves, so we will tell you that this is what we are going to do the project at the start, and afterwards we are going to tell you what are the algorithms, how to write an algorithms, how to do the programming for the motors, and afterwards how to make the electronics arrangements and how to simulate it first. Okay, it's not that just like a toy that 4 wheels, 4 motors and run the car on the road. It is an electric vehicle. No, it's not that simple. Okay, that involves the complex calculations, complex mathematics, and all those things. So we are going to start with the problem statement. We are going to start with the project statement. We are going to give inputs. One input, you will start building it. Another input, start building. Third input, start building. And at the end, your project is ready with you. Like this, we are going to go with the every courses. That's why Ravi sir has stated a point of 35% weightage on projects that we are going to. Okay, so it's a 35% major projects. बाकी जो थे उसमें भी छोटे-छोटे projects, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so this is how we are going to learn this at Avantika University. So once you learn,
yes, sir.
yeah, once you learn that that will open the market for you. Okay, you will be an R&D engineers. Okay, the Tata Motors is there, that Mahindra is there. Every companies now and then are wanting this kind of skill approach, because if you see the electric vehicles and all those things, everybody knows it's a future part of this world, but those skills are not there currently. So that's an opportunity. Okay, and we should grab those opportunities. So based on that, we have set up the Center for Cyber Physical Systems, and and we are working upon that, and we are successfully producing out different products. Okay.
Great, so great. It is, we were not aware that we have set up a Center for Cyber Physical System. So it is really a learning opportunity for students here at Avantika, that they can develop their own mini projects or maybe prototypes for that matter, or maybe the live projects they can work upon. And as I am told that various internships are also held wherein students can work on those projects. So that would be a really great learning. So it was a wonderful session by Kali Prasad sir, giving us a very insight.
I just wanted to
Yes,
show the drone. Now it comes.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
can definitely see.
So it's a drone that is there. And I will tell you one thing. This is a motor which is called as a brushless DC motor, actually, BADC motor. And for your kind information, the same motor with a different specification is used in electric vehicle.
Okay.
So once you know how to control this part, then there is just a matter of size only. So all things have been 3D printed by the students.
So sir, all these things have been made by students here at the university. The body and everything, the welding, soldering, programming,
everything. They have just come with their laptop and that's it. Afterwards, everything. And motors, obviously, motors we have provided. Okay. And afterwards, not only that, but they also know how to program this. Otherwise, if you don't program, then it won't fly also.
Right.
Okay. So, and this is also 3D printed. This is also 3D printed. The things are being designed by the students. They have designed it, they have tested it, they have simulated it. And after the successful of all the simulations, finally they have been done for this 3D print.
So this is where our design thinking approach has played a very important role, the blend that we call design of engineering. So I must say that drone that our first year engineering students have made is a perfect example of design plus engineering that we propagate in Avantika University. Wow, wonderful, sir. Thank you for showing that.
Thank you.
So it was a very interesting, insightful, informative session by all the three experts, Ravi sir, Kali sir, and Ashish Bansal sir. We have already, it was such an engrossing session that we didn't come to know what time it is. If there are some questions that students would like to ask, because we are always being faced with one or two questions that I would put up from students' behalf, Ravi sir, that we are saying we are a design-centered university, we provide experiential learning, project-based learning and everything. But how do we provide it in online mode if the classes are going on online? So what kind of change in teaching we have made, or how is Avantika University able to do so?
Yeah. So Avantika has adopted the learning management system like Canvas, which help a student to deliver the session. But as it is not all about delivering the session, it's all about the project-based learning, how we conduct such project-based learning in a pandemic situation. And if you have seen the project like drone, there are IoT projects which require interfacing part there, as well as mobile application, user-centered design project. So where there is the Canvas, the tool which has helped us a lot, where the students were interacted toward the different assignments, they were trying to submit them, as well as there was the multiple session where one-to-one students were getting interacted with the faculty, trying to resolve the issues if they struggle during their implementation part. And as they have been taught from at the beginning, they need to be complex problem solvers. So that was the problem where student itself tried to solve it, and we have moved ahead till the journey.
Okay, great, sir. One more question that is being asked by students multiple times is that some of the students are afraid of this project-based learning system. They think it is a hectic job, or it would require a lot of efforts from their end. What would you like to tell them?
If you ask me, this is not an hectic job. This is an interesting job where students like to learn, like to work on, rather than learning the different big paragraphs and giving the exam. So where the assessment model itself gives the student enthusiasm to upgrade themselves, to learn from their old mistakes, and which basically whenever they build any project, they try to make the culture of making makes them more interested toward doing, rather than learning the concept and writing the exam. So making the habit of making is very important, and which helps student to generate their interest toward making such projects. So the assignments and the course project are designed in such a way the culmination of all the assignments happens in the form of the projects. So whenever there is a course the students are going through, if simply take the example of the web application design. So before moving for web application design, there are few courses like user experience design, database management system, there is object-oriented programming, psychology for engineers, design methodology. These courses itself help them to culminate in the form of the project. So there is no such a hectic job. It is almost the culmination of all the assignment toward the project.
So we can conclude it in this manner that initially when a student enters in an engineering university like Avantika, a lot of hand-holding is there in initial years. And then gradually they are being shifted to their domains, and they are given freedom to choose the project. And in the gradual semesters, they choose their own project. It is a user-centered project or something like that. So it is a gradual transformation, and it is a lot of enjoyment in learning by doing.
So the habit is generated in such a way, right from the first semester, we have taken them to gradually grow, try to take them through small scenarios, and then make them to the face big problems. So the foundation, basically the foundation plays a very important role, where engineering, design and liberal arts courses make them strong enough, build their foundation to go for the disciplines and specializations.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Dear participants, thank you so much for your time, for listening so patiently and showing interest in the field that you want to choose. I would like to invite you all for a question and answer round. If you have any doubts, anything, you can anytime connect with Avantika University counselors. You can visit the websites, you can find the phone numbers over there. You can come and visit the university. It's located in Ujjain, just near the Chintaman Ganesh Mandir. Because I think unless and until you will see, you won't be able to feel, because this is something really new. Unless and until I came over here, I could not imagine a university that does not take any theory examination. I could not understand how a student would get promoted to next semester without even writing any exam, without even learning anything. Learning as in without memorizing anything.
Yeah.
So unless and until you visit the university, unless and until you meet the students, take a one-to-one session with the faculties, you won't understand, because this is absolutely new and different. I would like to thank our faculty members, the experts, Ravi Kumar Jadhav sir, Kali Prasad Mahapatro sir, Ashish Bansal sir, who spared their valuable time and gave us beautiful insights and interesting insights about the revolution in tech education that Avantika University is bringing.
Just one point I would like to make.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Please.
Rajlakshmi, though we do not have the final annual examination, but we have regular assessments here. I mean, the examinations are way through the entire semester also. The students have to complete their courses, they have to complete their projects, they have to write assignments and everything. So that process is itself large enough, so that the students get comfortably into all these kind of things. So that just final examination doesn't carry meaning, right? But it is a regular assessment that matters actually. That is very much here.
Yes, so that's the continuous assessment. Yeah. So even if a student, like what happens in traditional pattern, if a student misses one exam, he is failed. But here there is nothing like that. His overall performance is measured and assessed.
I would like to add one point.
Yes.
In this pandemic, the biggest challenge the whole world was facing in the education sector was how to conduct exam. And we are very lucky enough that, okay, because we are not getting more focus on this final year exams, we are focusing on the continuous assessment. And for that, we are having a LMS as called as a canvas, which has been used by most of the Ivy League colleges like Stanford, Harvard, and etc. Okay, so and the one more important thing is that it's not that we are getting recognized for that. We are the only few universities in Madhya Pradesh who are certified from the E-Lead by the QS. QS E-Lead certification, you can Google it and you can search for it. Okay, we are certified among that because during the pandemic, we were able to do all those things which we were promising. Okay, they were showing the projects. Okay, and the Canvas is the LMS platform. Okay, and it's a so well designed LMS platform that it's completely transparent for student and also and from faculty and also. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, Avantika University is E-Lead certified from QS iGEJ. We are totally able to take our courses in an online mode. That's why QS iGEJ has certified Avantika University with E-Lead certification. That is really a feather in Avantika University's cap. So thank you all. Thank you so much. We would be meeting again for another interactive session by Avantika University. Keep visiting our website. Keep posted for other admission related queries. You can definitely call us by seeing the numbers on the website. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.